I don't have any coffee. Hello, how's it going? I'm doing something slightly different with the camera today. I usually set the ISO level to a set amount based on what looks good in the viewfinder here at the start of each filming session. But you probably noticed this on previous videos. When the sun comes in and out from behind the clouds, the exposure changes, the light level changes, and sometimes it goes a bit grainy and dark, and sometimes it looks okay, sometimes it doesn't, and it's constantly fluctuating, so it's not great. What I've done today is set it to auto for the first time, which I heard isn't great, but I'm going to try it, and hopefully it'll compensate if any of that happens. Unfortunately, on the viewfinder here, I'm just looking at it, it does look a little bit overblown. It might be too bright. I maybe be able to, dial that back a bit with the editings, but we'll see. I'll try it. We'll see what happens. At least hopefully it won't be grainy. Today with the Midnight Pumpkin, try and say that properly. I'm just getting into the reassembly phase. Since I took it apart on the previous video, I have sanded a lot of the metal parts down, a lot of the screws, springs, some of the structural bits down, and treated them with Q-Rust. Not all the screws, but a lot of them. You can see, for example, these ones here. They're all sort of stained with black sort of colour. That's the Q-Rust. In case you don't know what that is, Q-Rust is stuff that comes in a bottle. You paint it on, and it transforms rust into something. It transforms it chemically into something stable, which you can then paint over or use, and it hopefully stop the spread of rust because it stops the metal oxygenating again. Certainly under the surface. If you manage to get the whole thing, it theoretically should stop it. I've done that with the motor as well. The motor looks pretty nasty. It's all stained with it, as you can see. But at least it's stained with Q-Rust and not rust itself, and it hopefully won't spread and get any worse. Some of the screws were absolutely dreadful. Some of the metal parts, some of the bolts, some of the structural things like the pin that goes through the, where is it? There it is, goes through the gearbox mount. It was all pitted and horrible. I've got Q-Rust on that. The strengthening bar I've used as a brace across the top. Had to Q-Rust that. The springs themselves. But that's all done now. It's clean. It's much better than it was. It's not a shelfer. It's not going to be spotless, but that's fine. It's going to be a lot better than it was. Today I'm going to start with popping in the servo. So how does the servo go in on this thing again? It's up through that way, isn't it? Like that. Yeah, that's the one. The servo comes first because it's then buried under a lot of the stuff. So we'll do that. You know what? I feel there should be a washer on that one. Maybe on both of them. There wasn't a washer before, but I think there should be. I'm sure I can source some washers. Yeah, this is going to damage that. Alright, servo in. Now, I can't really remember which order this all comes together. I mean, I think this all goes in before the steering, isn't it? That goes there, roughly. Yeah. Yeah, that one's there. This one's next, somewhere. There, I think. Yeah, and then it's the bumper on top of that. Then you get steering arms, and then, okay, that's good. So I think before all of that, you have to put on the side mounts for the gearbox. So we'll do that first of all. That definitely goes in here, in like that. Now, if you remember, I believe there was screws missing, but we'll certainly see. We will certainly see when it comes to this. There shouldn't be any screws missing there at all. Now I put all the screws that are of the same size in a pile. So although they came out of different places, and I'll probably almost certainly get most of them put back in a place they didn't originate from, they are all the same screw. It's just some are coated in Q-Rust now. But so they all should fit just as well as the one that was in previously, if that makes sense. want them snug, obviously, but not too tight. Snug for the bite, and then because if you do it overly, it will just strip the plastic. Okay, so gearbox mount this way up. Fifth shock mod. I've got to try and get this shaft goes through here, and that's all it would be into the mount here. But because I've got the fifth shock mount, I've cut see the slot out. Fifth shock mod, you cut a slot out, and it goes through that through the shock eye, and then that's how you get this involved in the whole process. So like that. I'm guessing it's going to be fiddly. I can't remember, it's been so long. It's fighting me already. There we go. Now is this above or below the little gearbox spring there? I think it's above it. Sorry, below, but above as I'm looking at it. There we go, get through it. Right. Seems right, doesn't it? Yep. Something like that, and then you've got to do the same on the other side. So this part, spring is much nicer on this side than on that side. That one was really horrible. The spring and the the spring and the screw was just horrible, horrible, horrible. There we go. Yeah, that's right. That's definitely correct. A couple more screws. Oh, wait a minute. Good one, Mike. A couple more screws here. There we go. Don't know how that's going to help. That screws into this thing, bottom plate. Have you never built one of these before and are looking at it and going, what an odd design? Yes? Now, I can support the gearbox by plugging in these two shock mounts at the bottom. I don't have a persuader with me. See if I can do it without one. Nope, need a persuader. Hold on. One. Two. That's essentially the gearbox mounted up. In fact, it is the gearbox mounted up. I serviced the gearbox off camera. There's nothing more boring than someone assembling a gearbox and greasing up gears and such, and it's very slow going, so I didn't want to do that on film. Just get comfortable here. So what I've done is I've cleaned it all out. It was pretty clean, you saw in the last video. Greased up all the gears and I've screwed the gearbox all together. There's a new bolt for the wheelie bar mod because the other one wasn't a bolt, it was like a threaded rod and it was all S-shaped, it was all bent out of shape. There's a stainless steel bolt, nice and strong. The wheelie bar sitting in the right place and nice and straight, so we're all good. We're all good on that front. Next, I believe, is the bottom plate here, because there's nothing that gets in the way of that, is there? Is there anything that bolts on top? That's there. This goes here. Okay. Nothing slots onto there, does it? No. Okay, so I can just simply reassemble this. That's fine. Bigger one. Alright, one other thing I did was I drilled out the on-off switch. The bolt, see it's missing there, should be here, where my finger is. Gone out, it had to be drilled out, the bolts were just piles of rust, horrible mess. Now, interestingly I have 3 screws for that. Sorry, the screws were rusty, I meant on the switch. I've got these 3 here, which are for the bumper. So where does this one go? We have an extra screw. Right, think about this for a second. In fact, we don't have an extra screw. What we have are 2 missing. So that confirms it. There were 2 missing on the gearbox mount on this Midnight Pumpkin, because I have one here. This requires 3. This requires 3 with washers, and they're here with their washers. So these 3 are accounted for. This requires 3, but there's 3 here. To attach this piece, I need 3. I have 1 here. I know there's a spare Tamiya screw in here. It's in here somewhere. Drat. That is a Tamiya screw. But it's actually a Tamiya bolt rather than a screw. As a bolt, as a screw, not compatible, won't work. But it's a Tamiya one, so I was right there. I found this screw here, which is, I believe, the same thread. Is it the same length? It's not a Tamiya screw. It's the same length, same thread, so it'll certainly work. Different head on it, I think it's a Phillips head. But that's okay, this is all going to be hidden. I know I hate mismatched screws, but I've got no option here. But I need one more. Do I have one more? Sort of. I've got this black screw here. This little black screw is slightly shorter. Not by much. Maybe by, you probably won't see that, but maybe by, I don't know, a few millimeters. 2 or 3 mil shorter. Hopefully it's enough to grab on still. I have no idea how this truck came to be missing 2 screws, but certainly is. So, will I need to get my Phillips screwdriver kit out, or will the Japanese industrial standard ones work? Just to put in this. No, that'll be. It's not great, but it'll do. It'll do. Don't strip. Don't strip. Don't strip. It'll do. That'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Disaster averted. Now this is a Tamiya one, so this will. I'll use the bigger one. This will go in no problem. And this one, which isn't a Tamiya one, but it's the same length as the Tamiya one, should also be fine. That's crazy how the ones that are missing, the 2 that are missing, were actually on one of these gearbox mounts. See these parts here that hold the gearbox on and then screw up into the main chassis. That's the 2 screw holes there. They were the ones that were missing. So crazy how that actually still kind of worked. But didn't notice that. Did not notice that. Obviously when I first built it, I don't know if would they have fallen out. I don't think so. I must have missed them when I first built it. Nope. I did build this on my own, didn't I? Can't remember. I can't even remember if I got it new or used. Don't remember building it. Can't remember. It's been so long. It's funny because it's been longer since I built my lunchbox for the first time, but I do remember building my lunchbox, but I don't remember building this. But I'm sure I built it. I'm sure I bought her a new one. I don't think I bought her a used one. Or did I? Did I build? Oh, maybe. Maybe I bought her a really good condition used one. I mean, I suppose it would explain where this Absima servo came from, because I've never bought an Absima before. Certainly haven't bought an Absima servo, and I haven't bought an Absima car, so I don't know where the servo came from. It would make sense, but I can't remember. I can't honestly say if I did get this in good condition used, or never run, previously built, or if I built it myself. I can't remember. It's been so long. But anyway, disaster averted. The screw on this side, this one here, where is it? There it is. Move it you. Stupid arm, right. There's it there. Looks almost the same as the Tamiya one. It's hidden by the other arm. There. Right there, and for goodness sake. You get the point, you get the picture. Stupid things. Right. Suspension next. Front suspension, I reckon. So I've already assembled this. I don't know if did I take this apart on camera last time? I don't think I did, but these were terrible. Go through the steering arms, knuckle ends. They were just terrible, but they're done now. So So that's way up. I want this. This is that one, isn't it? Yes, it is. Like that. Should be okay, right? Or do you need to put the shock in first? Don't think it matters. I'll find out in a minute, I guess. What? Oh yeah, there we go. And they're held in very simply by this motif here, this thingy-mabob. Alrighty. Yeah, they're fine. They're fine. They reach. That way round. In. There we go. Oh wait, no. Steering arm's doing that side. And that side. Up through here. Same with this one. There we go. Now we've got the strut brace essentially. This thing here, which is just an old camber link from a bigger model. No, I had the washers on first. And the camber link. There it is. Get my wheel nut spanner. Okay. Now, well, I need to persuade these steering arms to go on. Probably. So alright, got my persuader here. Open it up one, I think. There we go. There we are. Good. It's really come together now, isn't it? Yes, this is what it's supposed to look like, for those of you who don't know. Yes, this is genuinely what it looks like. It is an odd model, this one. Fine. Still might consider servicing the shocks, we'll see. I think this thing's got other troubles at the moment. And as the body shell mounts now, oh, I've got the silver ones and I've got the black ones. Are they the same? Or are they different lengths? They're different, but there is a slot in the black ones to what? To show you which ones are which? No, they're But I need to find out which are the front and which are the back, because they both fit perfectly. Chrome one's at the back. Gotta be careful, those really heavy Q-rusted ones, the ones where there's a lot of rust, there's less surface to attach to, the whole screw is softer. It's sort of rusted away, and the Q-rust I think softens things anyway. It certainly does it to plastic. I think it softens metal as well, so just be careful, you might end up finding it easier to round off screw heads. Where's the last one? Good. So yeah, very much getting there now. Last thing, just to put the wheel hexes on, the flowery shaped things, these things. So that flowery shape, you get it. Kind of, it's not, yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. Now I can see what it feels like fully assembled. Specifically the gearbox, etc. And the motor. Can I turn the motor okay? I didn't actually rebuild the motor. I'm going to test it first. Because it's not one of these motors where you can unscrew the end of it off and remove it. It's tabs that are bent in, and they're not particularly great when it comes to removing them and then resealing them again. So if I can avoid it, I'll avoid it. Got the wheels here. These are the two rear ones. Nope. That's this one. Get tread the correct way around. Come on, you. There we go. Ah! See that? Can you hear that? See that? Spinning inside the tyre. So the wheels aren't glued. That's something else I'll do. Surprised this thing ever wheelied. This one has a much better grip, even though it's also not glued. Odd. Anyway, whatever. Oh, gearbox. Super smooth. Nice. Nice. What about turning the motor? Well, you know. The proof will be in the pudding. We'll see what it's like when it's running, but that's lovely. I like the gearboxes on these. The Midnight Pumpkin, the Lunchbox, the Hornet, the... what's the other one? Grasshopper. The big gears, I mean, there's lots of play in between them, but they're such big gears it doesn't really matter. And once you grease them up, they're super strong and they're super slick. I mean, you wouldn't have it in a high-end touring car, but fine. Okay, the front wheels don't have hexes, it's just got these bearings. Another reason why you can't really, I'm sure there's adapters, but you're very limited for wheel and tire, wheel choice anyway. Tire choice probably as well, to be honest, because if you're going to fit a Lunchbox or Midnight Pumpkin wheel, you've got to use a Midnight Pumpkin or Lunchbox tire, don't you? That's a good bearing. Actually, there's two. Those are good bearings. It pushed out easy though. There we go. Spot on. Okay, so there we have it. That's fully reassembled. Much cleaner looking. Non-rusty Midnight Pumpkin. And there's some sheep in the background. No, sorry, actually they're goats. Next door neighbour has goats for some reason. Anyway, there we are. Still going. Yeah. Not bad at all. Not bad. I'm quite pleased with this now. I think it'll be alright. I think it'll be pretty good, really. Hope Rachel's going to be happy. I'll remember to glue the tyres. Glue the wheels and tyres. Seems all good. I'm really shocked that the suspension mount had 2 screws missing. But I really need to... I wonder if she'll remember. I'll ask her, see if she remembers if I built this or bought it. Ooh, there's a van outside. Maybe I'm getting a present. Okay? Perfect at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Next time, the electronics. Take care. See you later. I'll put the frickin' rear mounts on backwards. There we go. Also, the van did have a present for me. My new barbecue's arrived. Now we just need to wait for the weather to become Un-Scottish.